Greetings, my fellow freedom lovers and sovereign thinkers. This is LL3's newest podcast. My name is Craig, and I'm transmitting from the beautiful central regions of the land of enchantment, which is also known as New Mexico. Today's date, June 9th, 2014, is on a Monday, and I know it's Tuesday on the East Coast as I speak. And so today I'm going to be just narrating a few topics. Yeah, it'll be a fair amount. Just, mix it up a little bit. And the first one I'm going to be addressing is written by Susan Posel, which is entitled Council for National Policy backs Senator Chris McDaniel Behind the Curtain. This is a pretty interesting little article, and I will proceed as it reads. Ron Paul, former presidential candidate, announced his support for Chris McDaniel for the Mississippi senatorial seat. McDaniel has long been affiliated with the Tea Party and considered anti-Internal Revenue Service, IRS, as well as anti-establishment. Paul said Chris McDaniel has been a fighter in the Mississippi Senate for smaller government and more personal liberties. As McDaniel asserts, he is a champion of ordinary Mississippians. He has received millions of dollars from national conservative groups intent on pushing the Republican Party to the right. Charles Hagel, Secretary of Defense and member of the Council for National Policy, CNP, and regular speaker for the Council of Foreign Relations, is counted as a good friend and financial aid to the McDaniel campaign. McDaniel is also partnered with other members of the CNP, a secret consortium of right-wing conservative organization, one that brings together the country's most influential conservative leaders in business, government, politics, religion, and academia to hear and learn from policy experts, to cultivate ideas that help solve America's growing problems. The founder of the CNP stated that they were seeking to create a Christian conservative alternative to what they believe was the liberalism of the Council on Foreign Relations. Their mission statement includes agendas such as to acquaint our membership with those in positions of leadership in our nation, in order that mutual respect be fostered, to encourage the exchange of information concerning the methodology of working within the system to promote the values and ends sought by individual members. McDaniel has affiliation with members of the CNP, such as National Rifle Association, which is known as the NRA, Republican National Lawyers Association, RLNA, American Family Association, AFA. Sarah Palin, former governor of Alaska and member of the CNP, introduced McDaniel at a rally in Mississippi in support for his victory with conservative voters. In 2013, Palin was a speaker at the CNP, a hosted event wherein she endorsed Kentucky Senator Rand Paul for president in 2016. At the McDaniel rally, Palin said she had come to the Deep South to take up arms in a clear fight for the future of the Republican Party. The eyes of America are on you. Well. Sounds like superb astuteness, I would say, in a more irony way. It's just very interesting when you have good folks, like possibly Chris McDaniel, who believes in a lot of his views, have to be involved with or associate himself with, I would say, tyrannical individuals, or individuals that are represented by tyrannical entities, such as the Council of Foreign Relations, which is part of the One World Government agenda, one of the few offsprings, including the Club of Rome and the United Nations, and plus the Trilateral Commission, just to give you a few. In addition, it is verified, which I am going to link it to the website, because on the Council of Foreign Relations membership roster as of June 9th, 2014, Chuck Hagel is a member of that globalist organization. He called himself an American, and I know one thing, he is a very well-known illiterate when it comes to being involved with foreign entities and foreign nations, etc. like I said, because John Jay wrote in our Federal Papers 2 and 5, addressed the warnings about that, get involved with foreign nations or entities, including George Washington's farewell address, which I do have that in my past archives on my Spreaker page, and you don't have to listen to the whole thing, but I did put a link on there to back it up, and you can read it on your own, okay? So, it's very morose. You got good people get involved unintentionally, I would say, allegedly, unintentionally, that they have to be around some of these globalist clowns, okay? That's how I observe it. So always observe responsibly when it comes to politics, because it's one of the most filthiest entities on earth. And well, as I say in my past episodes, government in Latin means control of the mind. Alright, so always observe responsibly, like I say every time. I know I do harp it, but hopefully if you're listening for the first time, you will understand. Alright, well, next one here. This is from antiwar.com, a very good website. We follow each other through Twitter. And this is written by Margaret Griffiths. It's entitled, Northern Iraq Under Siege, 123 killed and 261 wounded. 2 of today's attacks focus on Kurdish political party offices, but this time the bomber targeted 2's Kormado. Yesterday, bombers attacked an office in nearby Jalawala. Okay, hope I pronounced that right. Also, militants overran a provisional government building in Mosul. It is unclear how much of Mosul is occupied by militants at this point, but it is considerable. The city could fall within days, according to a senior security official. Also, Baghdad suffered a series of bombings. At least 123 were killed and 261 were wounded. Anbar in Ramadi. 15 members of the University of Anbar are still unaccounted for after Saturday's attack on the campus. A booby-trapped home exploded, killing 5 security personnel and wounded 5 more. A clash left 3 policemen dead and 3 wounded. A rocket attack in Garma killed 10 people and wounded 2 more, including women and children. Elsewhere, a car bomb lured first responders and rubberneckers into a truck bomb outside 2 political parties' office in Kormado. At least 30 people were killed because the blast also damaged nearby buildings. At least 185 people were wounded. This attack targeted a Patriotic Union of Kurdistan office, and one belonged to the Kurdistan Communist Party. Yesterday, PUK office was targeted in nearby Jawala. Unrelated to the bombing, 5 people were kidnapped. In Mosul, militants stormed the Nainra provisional headquarters. Governor Atil Nujihafi, hopefully I pronounced these right, forgive me folks, was inside the building during the attack, but was able to escape. A suicide bomber killed 3 people and wounded 15 more at an army base. Authorities said 40 militants were killed. Among there were 4 Afghans. In Baghdad, a bomb killed a policeman, a gunman killed a real estate agent, a bomb in Shab killed 2 people and wounded 14 more. 2 dumped bodies were found. 1 was headless. 1 person was killed and 8 more were wounded by a blast in A bomb in Alafala crossroads left 1 dead and 7 wounded. 2 militants were killed. Gunman shot and killed a civilian. Gunman killed 4 soldiers and 2 soldiers in Canaan, yeah. Maybe Canaan. I could be mistaken. A suicide bomber killed 5 people and wounded 8 more, including civilians. A late evening bomb blast in Sadr City killed 4 people and wounded 9 more. A clash left 1 policeman and 1 gunman dead in Biarritz. In Baguba, a civilian was gunned down. A truck driver's body was found in Kirkuk hours after he was kidnapped. 3 bombs in Abu Saida wounded 5 soldiers. An unknown number of militants were killed in Samara. Wow. Well, the invasion of Iraq, restoring democracy, never worked. Congratulations to all those idiots from that time they voted for this pathetic agenda, which Bush and Cheney were pushing for, because they're just a bunch of tyrannical stooges as far as I'm concerned, and all the lackeys that endorsed it. Whether you're a Democrat or Republican, your credibility is down the drain. Absolutely. So, what did they achieve? Nothing. And now look what's happened. Divide and rule. So, it's a real damn shame. You gotta pray for the people out there too, man. Enough of this hatred and violence. You got, so far as I'm concerned, you got a lot of these political figureheads that are trying to play a little chess game. Who's gonna rule Iraq? But, yeah, it's a real damn shame. Hope for the best out there, okay? Alright. Next one here came from Alternative Thai News Network. Came out today. Is written by Tony Karatulsi, from the ATN. It's entitled Exposing Fake Academics and Their Foreign Bankers. Compromised foreign funded propaganda shamed, undermine, and endanger real academia. And it says here, the May 24th, 2014 Thai military coup that ousted the regime of convicted criminal, fugitive, accused mass murderer, billionaire Thaksin Shinawatra has shaken the tree, dislodging and exposing the aspects of his deep network of foreign-funded subversion laid down over the years to aid his efforts to undermine and upturn Thailand's traditional institutions and political order. And as we go down here, among these include massive, heavily armed terrorist wing that have positioned weapon caches across the country for a planned civil war. Another network includes a federal-funded network of false academics hiding behind their titles, credentials, and professorship to peddle pro-Thaksin, pro-globalization propaganda aimed at undermining Thailand's indigenous institutions and replacing them with foreign corporate financer-funded NGOs. Already covered in depth are Washington's collections of the National Endowment for Democracy funded NGOs, including more predominantly Parshatai, Enlaw Thai Foundation, the Foundation of Communities, Educational Media, and the Human Rights Lawyers Association, of which have been actively opposing the coup and any attempts to dismantle Shinawtra's political machine. The Bangkok Post, in its article Anti-Coup Rally on Streets and Social Media, reported. The Human Rights Lawyers Association, Cross-Cultural Foundation, Union of Civil Liberties, and the Enlaw Thai Foundation have also called for the return to a civilian democratic regime and for the military to go back to the barracks. This is almost verbatim repeat of the U.S. State Department's official statement condemning the coup and demanding immediate elections that would once again return Shinawatra to power and illustrate the role these NGOs serve, an echo chamber that translates U.S. Department talking points into local language of choice, in this case, Thai. Prachate alone receives millions of baht in foreign funding a year, a fact made only as recently as 2011 after calls for transparency eventually resulted in partial disclosure. Parachi's funding was made available only up to including the 2011-2012 fiscal year and only in English. Parachi's ties readers to this day are asked for donations without knowing the organization is funded millions of bahts a year, while English readers are left in the dark regarding patriotised current funding. The National Endowment for Democracy's official website still lists Paratachis as the current receipt of funding. Keeping this in mind is essential in understanding the role these fraudulent opaque NGOs play as an interface between foreign interests and Thailand's growth foreign-funded academic community. Chiang Mai, former epicenter of Shinawatра's political power, beginning in northern Thailand, an alleged epicenter of Tashkent's Shinawatра's political influence, home to his murderous Rag Chiang Mai 51 red shirt street mob, is Chiang Mai University, CMU. Like all of Thailand's academic institutions, indeed hosts a wide variety of skilled, professional, and truly academic scholars. But Shinawatра's network of subversion rotted Thailand inside out. The university found itself the unfortunate host for those like Assistant Professor Pick-and-Q, Langramasri. Sorry about that, folks. Pick-and-Q regularly studies Shinawatра's red shirt movement and goes at length during seminars expounding the merits of their pro-democracy agenda. She would even stop at one point during the seminar to explain how she, in particular, personally liked a red shirt because he, at one point, had a supporter of Thailand's revered monarchy, but has since switched sides. Her inability to remain impartial, professional, or in any way academic through her poorly disguised political agenda is not her only conflict of interest. She maintains what she calls a bookstore that is funded by U.S. aid. A convicted financial criminal, George Soros Open Society Foundation. Another New World Order stooge, my friends. A bookstore being an establishment that generally makes money by selling books, that is funded by not one but two foreign government organizations, raises suspicions that her bookstore, Book Republic, is in fact a front. In the immediate aftermath of the coup, Pick-and-Q was clearly worried. She wrote to colleagues that I have written to several donors who fund activities of Book Republic, USD, and OSF to see if they can do anything to help out in this situation. Although it might not have much impact since the military seems don't care to listen to anyone. We still hope that international pressure would at least help make it difficult for the military junta to continue their aggressive treatment towards people. By people, Pinkayu means those aiding and abetting Shinawatra. After supporting Shinawatra and his network even participating in red shirt protests against the coup, Pinkayu went all to call for foreign governments to pressure the military, and she did so by contacting the foreign institutions that kept her activities in business. Calling on foreign governments to pressure your nation is by definition treason. You're right on that. Pick-and-Q's doing so in defense of an ousted regime of Dakshin Shinawatra is all the more troublesome, since she poses an advocate of democracy and human rights when under Shinawatra neither existed. Nidarat, a cancer within Thai academia. Thammasat is one Thailand's premier universities. Its alumni can be making a positive impact in Thai society. across a wide range of fields. However, a recent organization calling itself Nidorat, or the Enlightened Jurist, have tainted the Mossad's reputation and have turned the university into a spectacle of transparent, politically motivated lobbying dressed as academia. While the organization claims to be impartial, a political aimed at defending democracy and fighting what is called doctrineless magistrate laws. During one of his first meetings, the auditorium was filled literally with Daskin Shinaratra's red shirts, and in the front row, Daskin Shinaratra's paid corporate lobbyist Robert Amsterdam of Amsterdam and Partners sat overseeing the proceedings. Far from an actual academic seminar, it was instead an attempt to rebrand Shinaratra's red shirt movement, perceived even broad as uneducated, prone to violence, and more of a cult of personality built around Shinaratra family than a pro-democracy movement. Nidorat was supposed to be a liberal and progressive spin on the movement, but failed. It was transparent example of academia being used to dress up what was essentially one of Shinaratra's cross and exploitive red shirt rallies, only held indoors and with drawing law lecture in place where Shinaratra's typical program of free food and country music would normally be. While many Thais suspected Nidorat was aligned with Shinaratra, they could never have imagined the scope of conflicting interests with Nidorat, especially actually engaged in. Sawtree Suskri, a law lecturer of Thammasat University and a member of Nidorat, was recently detained by the Thai military after returning from the U.S. after she admitted was a U.S. Embassy study trip on human rights. Her supporters, including Ken Yonrat, founder and director of Siam Intelligence Unit, claimed she was in fact on a U.S. Department-funded exchange program. Sawtree also contributed to the 2013 Freedom House report, the report being leveraged yearly to undermine political order around the world the West would seek to topple and replace with client regimes. This is perhaps the most troubling conflict of interest Sawtree is involved in. Now, only did she have Daskin Shinaratra's lobbyist Robert Amsterdam sitting in the front row of her organization's meetings, but she also collaborated with Freedom House, upon whose board director sits another of Daskin Shinaratra's lobby, Kenneth Alderman. Alderman provided a lobbying services for Shinaratra in 2007. Shortly after the first coup aimed at toppling his political machine was executed, he did so as lobbyist under Alderman PR, official DC lobbying registration here, and the organization he serves as a director of Freedom House has been regularly leveraged ever since to support Shinaratra's political machine and undermine his enemies. Sawtree would also serve as a witness for the defense in a criminal case targeting U.S. funded Pakotai director Churanich Premchapron. At every turn, Sawtree finds herself the recipient of U.S. funding and support, or mobilizing her academic facade on the behalf of others who are. While Sawtree and her nitrate organization attempt to portray themselves as the keepers and arbiters of democracy and human rights in Thailand, their lack of transparency and their multiplying conflicts of interest render their message moot. They are lobbying front, dressed as academia, involved deeply with literal lobbyists, registered as in the service of deposed dictator Daskin Shinaratra, that they are working in tandem with these insidious interests undermine the very principles they are hiding their agenda behind. The Freedom House and the National Endowment for Democracy neither free nor democratic. Eroding further, both Solitary and Pinkeroo's academic facades is the fact their donors and foreign collaborators are diametrically opposed in every imaginable to the principles of both women peddle their political agendas behind. Upon NED's board of directors, we find John Bond, who traded petrochemicals, was an international banker for 13 years with Wells Fargo's, and is currently serving as a principal for global advisory and consulting firm Global Net Partners, which assists foreign businesses by making their entrance into the complex China market easy. Surely Bond's ability to manipulate the China's political landscape through NED's various activities, both inside of China and along its peripheries, constitutes an alarming conflict of interest. However, it appears conflict of interest is a reoccurring theme throughout both NED and Freedom House. Bond is joined by Rita DiMartino, who worked for Council of Foreign Relations Cooperated Member, AT&T, as Vice President, Congressional Relations, as well as member of the CFR herself. Also representing Fortune 500 is Kenneth Durbestein, a board member of the War Profiteering Boeing Company, Big Oils, ConocoPhillips, and the Macaulay Realty Corporation. Durbestein also served as a director for Fannie Mae until 2007. He too is a CFR member, as are the two companies he chairs, Boeing and ConocoPhillips. This is great. I'm sorry, folks. They have a nice little photo of it, the image. All the notable representatives of corporate financial interests populating NED's board of directors include William Golston, Brookings Institution. Board of Trustees can be found on page 35 here. All these are links, so don't all these like light blue, aqua blue colors. They're all links, okay? So you can verify it yourself. I will proceed. Boys Aim, Carnegie Endowment for International Peace. Robert Miller, corporate lawyer. Larry Libinow, U.S. Chamber of Commerce, chief proponent of SOPA, Center for International Private Enterprise, which is CIPE. Anne Marie Slaughter, U.S. State Department, Council of Foreign Relations, corporate members here. Okay, Director of Citigroup, McDaniel Corporation, and Political Strategies Advisory Group. Man, woo, this is getting funny here. Richard Gephardt, U.S. Representative, Boeing lobbyist, Goldman Sachs, Visa, Armament Corp, and Waste Management Inc. lobbyist, corporate consultant, and now director of Ford Motor Company, supporter of the military invasion of Iraq in 2003. I'm just wondering if everyone in the union wants to support this SOB. You better start looking at this site from the Thai News and verify it thoroughly. Gephardt is nothing more than a warmongering chicken hawk, just like Bush, Cheney, and Kissinger. All right. So I will proceed. Mary Carlson Nelson, CEO of Carlson, Director of ExxonMobil. Stefan Setanovich, U.S. State Department, Carnegie Endowment for Peace, International Peace, CFR. Ooh, another CFR member. Judy Shelton, Director of Hilton Hotels Corporation and Atlantic Coast Airlines. The Freedom House, whom Solitary collaborates, is funded by a multitude of corporate financier interests. These include Goldman Sachs, Facebook, Google, Yahoo, AT&T, and Ford, the Ford Motor Company. Not exactly the names that come to mind when one thinks of liberal democracy or progressive politics. More like tyrannical politics, I would say. Alright. It is safe to say that neither NED nor Freedom House garner within their ranks characters appropriate for their alleged cause of supporting freedom around the world. It is also safe to say that principles of democracy, freedom, and human rights that allegedly champion for are merely being leveraged to co-opt well-meaning people across the world to carry out their own self-serving agenda. Finally, for those like Picanu and Solitary that willingly collaborate this igneous, financially motivated organizations like NED, Freedom House, USAID, Open Society, and others, they at best undermine entirely that their own cause and credibility, at worst, constitutes acts of outright treason. Those that claim that is banging, associated with or accepting funds from NED, Freedom House, USAID, and others among this network of corporate financiers directed neo-imperialism are naive at best. Advocates of free speech, seeks to silence detractors, staunchly supporters of Picanu, Lagar Ramarsi, and Solitary Suksri have called in concert for those investigating the nature of their foreign funding to be sued in an attempt to silence such inquiries. Picanu has refused to answer a series of questions posed to her in regards to her foreign funding, dismissing curiosity as spinning hatred toward her and her work. Solitary's defenders, including Kan Young of the Siam Intelligence Unit, warned its author to please write regarding nitrate carefully. This is my warning. Khan, like so many others, apply a double standard where they are free to demand answers, transparency, and accountability from others, but none may question them. The others still are fond of defending the right to slander and even threaten Thailand's revered head of state, but work swiftly to silence critics who target them. On Facebook in particular, Shanaratra's supporters, who behind the gimmick of rights and democracy, regularly target opposing points of view by abusing the terms of service to have comments deleted and accounts suspended. This is an exhibit mentality and practice method by pro-Western propagandists and indoctrinated not only within the context of Thailand's political crisis, but wherever Western interests are primed behind their borders. Thai academia cut out this cancer, not only for the sake of Thammasat or Chiang Mai University, but for Thai academia in general. Politically motivated facades that are funded from a board clearly partial and carried out by this igneous APAQ collaborators abusing their academic credentials should be strictly prohibited on campus. Should the likes of Peganu Lugamarsi or Solitary Suksri wish to engage in immense compromising conflicts of interest, jeopardizing stability within their country on behalf of foreign interests, they should do so in their prime time and beyond the boundaries of their respective universities. Lobbyists should transparently identify themselves as such, rather than hiding behind otherwise noble professions, from human rights advocates to journalists to professors and scholars. While the university policy should prohibit lobbying on campus, as a matter of policy, Thai law should demand that all academic groups, NGOs, and other receiving foreign funding and or support clearly declare that such support transparently, annually, in all languages they conduct their activities in, particularly Thai and English, speaking up about issues within one's country of whatever perspective is one's right. Taking cash from overseas while manipulating public perception and peddling a political agenda is treason. Thumbs up for that gentleman. Thumbs up for Tony. I love it. Great work, man. Great work. Truth of the matter is more like a fascistic mission. We have all these corporations and foreign bankers and, of course, foreign interest groups and individuals trying to tell how to try to control a nation like Thailand. It's interesting. They may have some great natural resources, which these fascistic demoniacs are trying to really scavenger over, suck it dry. And so hopefully, like I said, it is treasonous what these bastards and bimbos, political figureheads, are doing in Thailand. And so hopefully the people in Thailand gotta stand up to this garbage. And I back them up 100% when they do. I know it's happening over there. There's some big nasty riots and so forth. But when you have corporations trying to run your country, I don't blame them. Blame anyone that will resist to these bastards. So that's all I have to say about that. And of course, George Soros, he's another globalist stooge, and I just like it. This is a real good website too about all Thailand news. I will post this link to my Spreaker page. All the articles I'm be reading expect to be on Spreaker page as soon as possible. Okay. So next thing, last but not least, here's from Al Jazeera. It came out today. There's a report. There's the audio too. This is entitled ICC, which is International Criminal Court, to put Congolese Terminator on trial. Rebel leader accused of rape, murder, and enlisting children soldiers is to face International Criminal Court trial. And the gentleman's name is Bosco Ntaganda. I hope I pronounced that right. Is accused of committing war crimes in the Democratic Republic of Congo a decade ago. Prosecutors have presented enough evidence to justify putting a trial on Congolese rebel leader accused of rape, murder, and enlisting child soldiers, judges at the International Criminal Court said on Monday. Bosco Ntaganda, widely known as the Terminator, surrendered to the U.S. Embassy in the Rwandan capital, Kigali, in March and was transferred to the ICC in The Hague, which is, Belgium? Yeah, I believe it's Belgium. Maybe Belgium, yeah. Judges said in the statement there was sufficient evidence of his involvement to proceed a trial. He will face 18 counts of war crimes and crimes against humanity for his alleged involvement in a surge of ethnic violence in the Democratic Republic of Congo, which is short for DRC. Democratic Republic of Congo is formerly known as Zaire, just to let you guys know. More than a decade ago. This is more than a decade ago. Prosecutors will now seek to prove charges against Ntaganda, who commanded the United of Congolese Patriots, UPC, militia, in a trial. There was widespread and systematic attack against civilian population. The judges said in a statement, the UPC militia targeted civilians perceived to be non-Hema, such as those belonging to Lendu, Bara, and Nandi ethnic groups. The decision marked a rare success for prosecutors who have struggled to build solid cases after the court established more than a decade ago to prosecute individuals responsible for war crimes. The New York-based Human Rights Watch said Monday's decision would open a way for broader justice in the northeastern Ituri region of DRC. The ICC decision sending Ntaganda to trial opens the doors to justice for victims of horrific crimes in Ituri, said Geraldine Malatoli Zeltner, International Justice Advocacy Director at Human Rights Watch. Ntaganda's upcoming trial will send a powerful message to those responsible for grave crimes in Congo that justice will eventually catch up with them. I'm just curious if Congo, the Democratic Republic of Congo, is pro self-defense, pro firearms rights, or they are a victim disarmament nation. That's just my first thing, because even what happened in Rwanda, 800,000 people, they say it was mostly Tutsis, but based on the past trial they have for one of the gentlemen, I forgot the guy's name. It was on James Corbett report. That was considered a firearm-free zone as well. Self-defense has always been a righteous thing, and I always support this by natural law. Alright, it doesn't matter what your creed is and color of your skin and all that, because I always believe in self-defense. Protect your family, your loved ones, your property is an honorable thing to do. And what's interesting about the International Criminal Courts, I did a little homework on it, I would say roughly 13 years ago. I had like web TV, for goodness sakes, which I still laugh about it to this day. But I still I still did my homework on it. And it was funny because even when you look at the Roman Statute of the International Criminal Courts, Part 8, Appeal and Revision, there's an area called Article 81, Appeal against decision of acquittal or conviction or against sentence. And when you look at number 1, it says a decision under Article 74 may be appealed in accordance with the rules of procedures and evidence as follows. A, prosecutor may take an appeal on any of the following grounds: procedural error, error of fact, or error of law, which is 1, 2, and 3, and vice versa. So, just to give you guys an example. So, technically, like in the United States, it's like you're innocent until proven guilty, and if you're found not guilty, the whole thing is this thing called you can't try the same person twice. It's called double jeopardy. It was under the Fifth Amendment of the U.S. Constitution. However, with this particular court case, International Criminal Court, it could be considered multiple jeopardy. So they could find a way to make errors and so forth, and they could just their opportunity to try you again and again and again. So I will add that link to this article. Okay. So just give you guys clarification. Alright, my friends, I'd like to thank everyone for listening. And I'll always have a good time doing this, because it's in my blood, I guess. And I like to share information with everyone out there. And I know my followers are picking up. I got like roughly 1,172. I like to hit 1,200, so keep on spreading the word about my show. I do appreciate it. And you can hit your comments and all your love, hate, neutrality information on my Facebook, Twitter, Google+. I said Spreaker. Yeah, I just said Spreaker. Sorry. iHeartRadio. And I have got back to YouTube again. So you can hit comments of those as well. And so, like I said, one more time, thanks you for listening. And my closing statement, which is traditional: demoniac resistance is healthy for the soul and can liberate societies. Until next time, take care of yourselves, keep on spreading the love, and may your guardian spirits be with you.